Are you feeling the pinch of the rising cost of living in Canada? This is a question that's on many minds today. The cost of living crisis in Canada is a reality that's hard to ignore. The inflation rate surged to a staggering 7.6% in July of 2024, making it increasingly difficult for Canadians to afford basic necessities. Let's take the case of Missy Anderson, a mother of 4 from Burlington, Ontario. She's not just another statistic in an economic report. She's a real person grappling with the rising costs on a daily basis. A diagnosis of stage 1 cervical cancer has only compounded her struggles. Like her, there are countless Canadians who are finding it hard to make ends meet, even for essential needs. Grocery prices are soaring, housing is becoming increasingly unaffordable, and energy prices fluctuate wildly. These economic pressures are felt by everyone, from newcomers to Canada to longtime residents. The rising cost of living is not just about numbers and percentages, it's about people and their ability to maintain a decent quality of life. The Bank of Canada is trying to address inflation, but the crisis goes beyond that. It's about wages that are not keeping pace with rising costs. It's about people having to make tough decisions like downsizing homes or relocating to more affordable areas. It's about families making lifestyle changes and individuals seeking additional income through part-time jobs or other means. The cost of living crisis is also prompting Canadians to get creative, from saving on gas by converting a tricycle to implementing meal planning to reduce grocery costs. Canadians are exploring various strategies to stretch their dollars. It's a testament to their resilience, but it also underscores the severity of the crisis. The rising cost of living is undeniably a crisis that needs immediate action. This is not just about economics. It's about the well-being of Canadians. It's about ensuring that everyone has a fair shot at a good life, no matter where they live or what their circumstances are. Because in the end, isn't that what being Canadian is all about? What is the Canadian government doing to tackle this crisis? A question that has been echoing across the nation as Canadians grapple with the rising cost of living. In response, the federal government has rolled out a series of measures aimed at addressing affordability challenges. One such measure is the introduction of a rental benefit, a lifeline for many who are struggling to keep a roof over their heads amid skyrocketing housing prices. In addition, the government has also boosted the Goods and Services Tax, or GST credits. This increase is designed to help offset the impact of inflation on the everyday purchases Canadians make. And let's not forget about health. As medical costs continue to rise, many Canadians are finding it increasingly difficult to afford necessary treatments. To help alleviate this burden, a new dental benefit has been introduced. This benefit is aimed at ensuring that dental care, an often overlooked but vital aspect of health, remains accessible to all. However, as promising as these measures may sound, they are not without their concerns. Some worry about the potential impact these initiatives could have on inflation. While these measures may provide immediate relief, they could also drive prices up in the long run, adding fuel to the fire of the very crisis they aim to extinguish. Moreover, there are questions about the effectiveness of these measures in the short term. Are they enough to provide immediate relief to those hardest hit by the crisis? Or are they simply a drop in the bucket of a much larger issue? These concerns underline the complexity of addressing inflation and the rising cost of living. It's a balancing act of providing immediate relief while also planning for the long term, ensuring that today's solutions don't become tomorrow's problems. While these measures may provide some relief, it's clear more needs to be done. The government's efforts are a step in the right direction, but the path to overcoming this crisis is long and fraught with challenges. It is a journey that requires not just government action, but the collective effort of all Canadians. Together, we can weather this storm. What does this crisis mean for everyday Canadians, you might ask? Well, it's a question that many are grappling with as they navigate the stormy seas of the cost of living crisis. Rising prices are impacting every facet of life in Canada, from the food on the table to the roof over one's head. Grocery bills have skyrocketed, with the cost of everyday items becoming a significant strain on household budgets. Families are finding themselves having to make tough decisions on what to put in the shopping cart and what to leave on the store shelves. The simple pleasure of a well-stocked pantry is becoming a luxury for many. Housing, a basic human need, is becoming increasingly unaffordable. Prices are climbing, and the dream of owning a home is slipping further out of reach for many Canadians. Even the cost of renting is becoming prohibitive, leaving people scrambling to find affordable accommodations. Gas prices, too, are on a roller coaster ride, fluctuating wildly and adding an extra layer of uncertainty to the financial landscape. This volatility is forcing Canadians to rethink their commuting habits and consider alternatives to personal vehicles. As the cost of living soars, Canadians are finding themselves having to make significant adjustments to their spending plans. Budgets are being tightened, and non-essential expenses are being cut back. The focus is shifting to meeting basic needs and keeping the financial ship afloat amidst these turbulent times. But it's not just about cutting back. Canadians are also exploring ways to stretch their dollars further. From hunting for deals to planning meals meticulously, every cent counts in this challenging economic climate. These challenges are reshaping the way Canadians live and spend. It's a tough road ahead, but Canadians are known for their resilience and adaptability. As they face these challenges head-on, they're finding innovative ways to weather the storm and keep moving forward. So, how can Canadians save money in these trying times? Let's dive into 10 strategies that could help manage the cost of living crisis. Firstly, vehicle maintenance. Regularly servicing your car can prevent costly repairs in the long run. This includes routine oil changes, tire rotations, and brake checks. Remember, a stitch in time saves 9, and the same applies to your car's health. Secondly, timing gas purchases wisely. Gas prices can fluctuate throughout the week. Try to fill up your tank on the days when prices are typically lower. You might have to do a bit of research, but the savings can add up over time. Thirdly, let's talk about groceries. Utilize discount codes and coupons whenever possible. There are numerous apps and websites that offer digital coupons, making it easier for you to save money on groceries and other essentials. Fourthly, invest in quality clothing. It might seem counterintuitive, but buying cheap clothing can cost more in the long run. Quality clothing lasts longer, which means you won't have to replace items as often. Fifthly, take advantage of student discounts on school supplies. Many stores offer discounts to students, which can significantly reduce the cost of necessary school supplies. Sixthly, consider downsizing or relocating to a more affordable area. If housing costs are your biggest expense, it might be worth considering a smaller home or a cheaper location. Seventh, make lifestyle changes. This could include things like reducing your reliance on takeout food, walking or cycling instead of driving, or even cutting back on subscription services you don't really use. Our eighth tip is to explore government financial assistance programs and tax credits. There are a variety of programs available that could help alleviate some of your financial burdens. Ninthly, look for ways to increase your income. This could mean taking on a part-time job, starting a side hustle, or even renting out an unused room in your house. Lastly, build an emergency savings fund. While this may seem difficult in the face of rising costs, having a financial safety net can provide peace of mind and prevent further debt if an unexpected expense arises. With these strategies, Canadians can find ways to stretch their dollars further. Remember, every little bit counts in managing the cost of living. What are some out-of-the-box ways Canadians are dealing with the cost of living crisis? In the face of adversity, innovation often takes center stage, and that's exactly what's happening in Canada right now. As the cost of living continues to rise, Canadians are getting creative with their strategies to cope with the crisis. Take meal planning, for instance. Families across the country are finding that a little bit of organization can go a long way. By planning meals ahead of time, they're not only reducing their grocery costs, but also minimizing waste. It's a win-win situation, but it doesn't stop there. People are also exploring additional income sources. From taking on part-time jobs to renting out rooms in their homes, Canadians are finding ways to increase their income and offset the rising costs. And then, there are those who are thinking outside the four-walled box. With housing prices skyrocketing, some individuals are resorting to unconventional housing solutions. Buying recreational vehicles or RVs to live in is one such strategy. Not only does this help save on rent, but it also offers a sense of freedom and adventure that traditional housing simply can't compete with. Of course, these strategies require a certain degree of flexibility and adaptability, but in challenging times, it's this kind of resourcefulness that can make all the difference. And let's not forget the power of community. Initiatives like clothing swaps are gaining popularity as a way to exchange goods and reduce expenses. It's a practical solution that also fosters a sense of unity and mutual support. So, as we navigate this cost of living crisis, let's remember that it's not just about tightening our belts. It's also about thinking creatively, exploring new possibilities, and supporting each other along the way. Innovation and resourcefulness are key in these challenging times. How are communities coming together to fight this crisis? As the cost of living rises, we're seeing a surge in community initiatives aimed at reducing expenses. These grassroots efforts are a testament to the power of collective action and the indomitable spirit of Canadians. One of the most popular initiatives is the clothing swap. Rather than purchasing new clothes and contributing to the fast fashion problem, communities are hosting swap events. Here, members can trade gently used items, offering a cost-effective and eco-friendly way to refresh your wardrobe. Shared resources are another effective way communities are combating the high cost of living. From tool libraries to book lending clubs, these initiatives allow community members to borrow items they need temporarily, thus avoiding the expense of buying them outright. Community gardens are sprouting up across the nation too. Not only do these gardens provide a source of fresh produce, they also foster a sense of community spirit and shared responsibility. And let's not forget about meal-sharing initiatives. These programs allow neighbors to cook and share meals, reducing individual grocery expenses and waste, while promoting a communal dining experience. Cooperative housing is another innovative solution. Here, residents share ownership and responsibilities, leading to reduced living costs. Additionally, communities are banding together to negotiate group discounts on essentials like utilities and insurance. The power of bulk buying is harnessed to bring down individual costs. In times of crisis, the strength of a community truly shines through. These initiatives show how Canadians are coming together, combining resources and finding creative solutions to navigate the rising cost of living. Remember, every bit counts. Whether it's swapping clothes, sharing meals, or joining a cooperative housing scheme, these community initiatives help make life more affordable. Strong communities can make a big difference in times of crisis. Let's recap what we've learned about the cost of living crisis in Canada. The country is grappling with a severe cost of living crisis, with inflation rates reaching a staggering 7.6%, impacting the affordability of basic necessities and medical treatments for many Canadians. The federal government has introduced several initiatives to address these challenges, such as a rental benefit, boosted GST credits, and a new dental benefit. However, the effectiveness of these measures in the short term remains a topic of debate. Economists underline the complexity of addressing inflation due to global factors and high energy prices, emphasizing the need for both immediate action and long-term planning. Canadians are facing numerous challenges, including soaring grocery prices, unaffordable housing, and fluctuating gas prices. The rising costs in essentials are outpacing wage increases for many, making it increasingly difficult to manage daily expenses. But in the face of adversity, Canadians are finding innovative ways to save money and cope with the crisis. From timing gas purchases wisely and utilizing discount codes and coupons for groceries to exploring government financial assistance programs and tax credits, Canadians are adjusting their spending plans. In addition, they are adopting creative strategies such as meal planning to reduce grocery costs and resorting to unconventional housing solutions like buying RVs to save on rent. Community initiatives like clothing swaps are also gaining popularity as a way to exchange goods and reduce expenses. While the cost of living crisis in Canada is a significant challenge, Canadians are finding ways to adapt and persevere. This resilience in the face of adversity is a testament to the spirit of the Canadian people. And remember, every small step towards financial stability counts. Keep exploring, keep innovating, and most importantly, keep supporting each other.